Good evening. All praises to the Most High Yah, the creator of the heavens and earth, the creator of the mind, that energy that drives us to do better, to know better, and to become one with the source, so that each and one of us can once again become the image of the Holy One of Israel, the image of the creator of life, that we may produce life and take this world from this darkness. I greet you in love and peace. Today, this evening, is such a special revelation, and it has taken me 7 days to piece it together because it's coming to me in visions, dreams, daydreams. The Creator reveals himself through people, and the only way to understand that Yah moves through people is to humble yourself and listen to the message and not judge the flesh. He can send it through a homeless, a blind man, a crippled man, a dope fiend, an alcoholic, a homosexual. Anything can a spirit jump in to transmit truth. So do not judge the shell, but learn how to detect the inner spirit of this surrogate, so that you can be able to identify Satan in and around you, as well as once you can identify it, then you can remove it from within you and then create an environment that it won't be around you. So what are we talking about today? The last time in part 2, we were talking about the Genesis and Adam and Adamah. And it takes, like I say, I got 3-4 Bibles and papers sitting everywhere because they hid the truth. And once you turn yourself around to Shuvah, then you can start beginning to activate the power that allows us to find the truth. How do you find the truth? By looking within. How do you look within? By the coding is in the DNA. God hid himself in man. And that's why they're searching the heavens and under the earth. And they've been looking for thousands of years, and he hid himself inside of us. These are these skins of coat. So we're going to start like this. There's so much data and so much information, and I'm going from Hebrew to English in translations and breaking down, because if we can't identify how subtle this Satan is, we'll never be free. We're being held captive because we don't remember who we are. My job, or at least my purpose right now talking about, is for you to identify who you are so that you can find out that you're not in control of yourself. But there's another spirit controlling your mind and thoughts right now. You are deep, deep inside of there. Your conscious mind tells you that what you see is real. Your conscious mind tells you that you're living the life, that your job, that your food, and all the other things that you do every day as a routine makes you think that you're in control. But your subconscious is being controlled by a force that destroys life. That being said, it takes us to Genesis. I was saying in Genesis, the book Bereshit 1 and 26. Then we go to 1 and 27. And it says, Vayivara Elohim ha'adam b'tselemo u'b'tselem Elohim bara oto zachar u'nekeva bara otam. Then in English, 1 and 27. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. They shall rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky, and over the animals, and over the whole earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his image. In the image of Yah, he created him, male and female, he created them. So, if he created male and female, just like he made every animal, let me know, he created every animal, male and female. So now at the way up here at the top is saying that he created male and female, he, them. So there was a god and there was a goddess. They had the same strength, opposite sex. Meaning one could produce the babies and the other one would be here. So, what happened? So what they did was they mixed the stories up to confuse us. Now, this is where we get this other woman at, Lilith. This is the goddess who was subdued completely by Satan and willingly lent her body. She did not repent when Adam repented. Now, her name was Adama. Adama is the female name for Adam. Adam could not produce life from carrying it and reproducing it. He could make it from thought, which he carried in his loins, and he had to put it in something, just like we plant our seed in Adama. Now, the translation of Adama is earth, the dirt, the soil. What comes out of the soil? The soil constantly pushes up life. The soil is a womb, and all it does is pushes up life. So did Adama. So now we're talking about when God made them in the image, the spirit, man was a spirit, and Adama was the spirit of the earth. Man was the heavens, the higher realm, like this, and yet the woman was the earth. So the first creation from the earth was the earth itself, which was the female attribute. She gave birth to all of the animals, because all of that came from Adama. All of the trees pushed up, that was also living souls and organisms. And then he took Adam from the dust of her, meaning that he took a skin draft. He did not go into woman to make man. He used the surface of her to form man in the image. Y'all working with me now? So then as it goes down, in the same chapter of Genesis, bear with me, it says, Ha'adama v'yismach v'lo himtir Elohim et ha'aretz v'adam ein la'avod ha'adama v'et ya'ale men hashka'a v'et pnei ha'adam v'yetzer Yahuwah et ha'adam le'nefesh chaya. Okay. Now it's saying that after he took him from the dust of the earth and formed him, then he breathed into him life and he became a living soul. So now, after the fall of the first god and goddess, and Adam repented, and Adam realized when they hid themselves that they had made a mistake, one stayed. That's why he said, the woman you gave me. Now, the second part of this creation is, and God took from his rib. Okay. So then we go here. He tells them that you shall not eat of the tree of the good and evil. This was the first instruction for the god and the goddess. Then when they did eat, and he said, what are you doing when you hid themselves? Then the man said, the woman you gave me. Meaning that I had no power over her. So then he said, the next time, let's do it different. Now, the reason why I'm getting to this is because the word rib is selah in Hebrew. Now we look up the word selah. Tzadeh, lamet, and ayin. Selah. The tzadeh represents righteousness. So when God, why did God go deep into the man, move his rib, and really went and took from the chief, from the original light that Yahweh created man in the image from, now he went in and made woman from the good. The reason why he went inside of man, because things are created that manifest to life from darkness into the light. You with me now? So this time he takes the female outside from inside of the man to be a reflection of Yah. Like man had lost the ability to see the light of Yah directly. Because we were all spirit at first and could turn into shapes and bodies using the elements. We could use the dirt to turn us into this body. But when we traveled to other worlds, how did we move? We had to become wind again. We had to become the whole, the everything. When he said, I am that I am, I was, am, and always will be. That means that we will become a part of the universe again in the whole, and then we can transport like that and then come back into this body. You saw kind of like what they did on Star Trek. So then, man, his tikkun, man's repair was that the Creator created this new woman, the second woman, which is Chava Eve, which represents the heart and soul. He went into man's heart, to that good part where man really did not intend to sin, where man could repair. And he created a woman this time, saying that now, instead of me making y'all equal and balanced, now she comes out of you, and you all are going to need each other in order to get back to me, to become gods again. The woman and man will have to become one, to lock back in, to become one body. He separated that. So, the definition, when I looked up the word, first I'm going to say the letter tzadeh represents righteousness, straightness. It will continue to give access to this letter, opens the doors to the spiritual realm. This letter tzadeh, which is right, represents righteousness, opened the doors between the spiritual realm and the physical. He took her physically out the body, but it also opened up the door for him to see the spiritual realm. Man did not have nothing to measure by anymore, his connection to God. So what he did, he took woman out of him and put himself in the woman, and made him now the same woman that you blamed that brought the devil to you is the woman now that you're going to find God in, because you can't see yourself. So the woman, the Isha, had become the mirror for man. She was his reflection, because he could not see his inner parts. So she was produced to be his subconscious now. That's why women later, and they tell us every time something ain't right, and we ignore them, because Adam did not understand now that Chava, not Adamah at the beginning, which and where he came from, now he had to understand that this is what comes out of you. You say that you are good, you had good intentions, then prove it by her being a reflection of you. Because this is deeply what's going on. And every woman that has been off or off course generally came from whatever man she was with. The reflection, you thought that the woman was a separate unit, but when you went into her, then you put yourself in her, and she manifested it through the spiritual DNA. She produced exactly what was going on inside of you. That's why we would come home from cheating or lying or doing anything you did behind your back, and you would come home and the woman would automatically have a negative spirit. Or when you didn't think she knew and she sat there and slept with you anyway, and then caught you, checked on you, had suspicion. Because we keep thinking that we blaming the woman, and it's us. The woman represents you and you represent her. This is how he made the reflection now. That is the repair. This is why the heavens and earth are at odds. This is why the world is out of cycle. Because Satan, the opposition, has been able to play between these two worlds with us. If she's your rib and under your rib, where the chi is, where the exact micro dot of how God, when he breathed life into you, which represents righteousness and change and loyalty. This is what he put in our DNA. He takes this out of your inner parts where you can't even see the good in you no more. And she was to be a reflection. We immediately attacked her. So I'm just getting warmed up with this. So it allows us to be from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. That's just what the first letter in the rib means. It gives us access to the seraphim level, which is the highest angelical order, where they stand around, the burning ones, who stand around the throne day and night, constantly burning, meaning and protecting the throne. Purified. That means that you can't even get in. That's like walking through the sun. Then we got Lamed from Selah. Represents learning. Also represents the lave, which is the heart. Now we're saying that he took her from the righteousness of man. That's what your rib was, brother. the righteousness. The second letter is the heart. Now we know that it wasn't just the rib. He took it from the inner organs, the DNA, the soul. He made woman from the soul of man, not rib. Rib means the soul. He took her out of your soul so that you could have a balance and check in life. It means to learn, to lilmod. It means it took her from the heart brain, lave. Lave and bayit is the heart, the house, the home, the house of Yah, the eternal. So he created Kava Eve from the rib of Adam, the righteousness of the heart of man. She represents the house of the man. He took the woman from the righteousness of the heart of man. Now, when we talk about neshama, now we're talking about the soul. The soul, it means that a process, change, return. So now man fell. All of this just comes out of the rib now. Change, that means he did something different this time now. He made God and goddess, it didn't work. Because Yah is constantly involved. So he tested his work because Satan is only a tester. So he put the devil there to test it. That test didn't work good. So let me do it again. Because the heavens and earth, he created that first. Which means that everything that Adam came into and Eve in the creation, Adam and Adamah at the beginning, was God. Not a single thing blowing around, but all of the creation itself was Yah. So, it says righteousness. This is just in the word that means soul. Process. Change. Sleep. Faith. You with me so far? Now, all of this is what he created the female. Kava. Isha. Isha meaning little man. Isha means that she came out of man to give birth to life. She was the repair, the first repair. This was his test and tikkun, and his repair was in the woman that he took now out of man. He gave man a chance. The first test was to see, I'm going to take man out of woman. Didn't go so well. Woman fell. Now we're going to give the upper hand where man can be the God figure. He would know Zachar, which means male. That word Zachar, Zayin Kaf Resh, is memory also. That's why they keep taking our blood in the hospitals and checking and checking and checking, because they looking for something. These doctors and these people are not the real. They're not really human. They're on a mission for that which controls their subconscious, which built these institutions to find in the DNA code the essence of life, so that they can control life on earth and control, which their only thing they controlling now is death, by forcing us to take pharmaceutical drugs and poisoning us. Work with me now. So, let me give you some of the definitions of the words. It says, and Yah calls Adam, man, Ish. Ish means the first letter of the alphabet's Aleph, which is a circle going like this, which absorbs energy from heaven. And then it's a line that sticks to it. So it's like something like that. Which, that thin line is the portal between two worlds, between the mortal world and immortality. Aleph, the beginning of all things, the creation itself started with that vibration. Aleph also means to train oneself, or that to be trained by Yah. Ish, that's just in the word man itself. Now he went from Adam to Ish ve'isha, because they had went to a lower level from being the atom itself, the creation. Now you're a man and woman. You're on a lower plane, but you still got access to the creator. But now you got to work for it. It just don't come free. Okay. He falls into a deep sleep, and while he slept, Yah took one of his ribs and enclosed it in his flesh. And Yahweh built from the rib that he had taken from the man into a woman. Now we just understood that rib meant righteousness, teachings, and ayin, the ability to see, the vision. So the eye of God, he took from his sight, like which is the portal between these two worlds, the ability to see spirit. This is what the rib, so-called word in English, rib, represents. Okay. He created woman from the good in man. Woman did not, this particular one, Kava, did not experience that. She only experienced evil from the man now. The new woman did not experience evil. But what happened is, when man had been impregnated from the first Adamah, then he would pass it on. So it was in the head. So his check and balance. So now Lilith, being a female, was easier and able to convince the woman to go against the man. So she planted a seed in the mind. Yah opened up man and took from his rib, Selah. Yah took from his inner spirit, his soul, the good of his body. The image of God inside of man did he make the new woman. She came from the shadows of man's soul. Sade represents the righteousness of man. Righteousness, Sadkan. Lev Yashar, a straight heart, a pure heart, Sadiq. Night and darkness, all of these things. Now, Laila is inside, because the Lamed also represents night. So he took light from the darkness. He went inside of the era that man have made, inside the darkness inside of this man, found the simple chi. The light, the original energy had got covered from darkness from the fall when he ate from the tree of good and evil. He went into the darkness and brought the righteousness out. He restored man, but through the woman this time did he create in his image. So woman, the Chava, was created in the image of God, not man again. Man was already made in the image of God and had fell. So he went back into him because he was consumed from the darkness that had fallen when they ate from the tree of good and evil. Work with me. Let me explain it a little better. When they ate from the tree, darkness covered them because Satan, the underworld, was able to enter and take form inside of a body. So the woman was totally consumed, Adamah, the first female goddess. Adam repented. Or Adam acknowledged him, because that's who spoke with God first. Now, when he went to make Chava, Eve, the new woman, he had to go into the darkness, because that's what's inside of the word rib. Sade, Lamed, and Ayin. Inside of the woman. He went into and found the righteousness. The first letter stands for righteousness. The second letter has also heart, but darkness. He went into the darkness where Satan had consumed this man and caused him to see he was naked, caused him to blame the other goddess, all of these things, and took righteousness, the light out, pulled the woman out of that and created her. So he had to save man by digging deep into the darkness and pulling the woman out. And now she would be the light that man was supposed to follow to stay on the path of righteousness. Where did we go wrong? These are the things that's being revealed to me. Let me keep going. The woman was extracted from the good in man. She was taken from the light of Yah that was in the darkness of man, because he had coats of skin. So his tikkun was Eve. His repair of the breach that was broken was the creator was Eve. Chava. She would be his blind side. The only way that you could see Yah in a man is through Isha. The only way that the Creator would appear now through man, for man to be able to understand that he was doing right or wrong, was through Isha. He gave him a woman now. that will be the reflection of his inner being, because Satan is more subtle, the most subtle beast of all the creatures on the planet. So you could not identify Satan with you. I told you in the book of Job, it said when the sons of God came to pray, so did Satan come. So righteous men did not even know Satan. So the only way now is he took something out of the dark, who would know the dark side. They know our inner thoughts. Women, they just know us. How do they just know us? Because they came from the inside where it's dark at. So they know more about darkness than we do. They more aware of it. I gotta stop this one and come right back.